Hello, my name is Emma from the crochet blog Lily Loves. Today I'm just going to show you a quick tutorial on how to make these lacy cotton headbands. The full written pattern will be available on my blog if you'd prefer to use that. You can adapt them for different head sizes, but obviously they use these elasticated hair ties, so this size should fit most adult heads, but if you wanted to make them for a child, you could have a look at cutting down on some of the repeats. But again, all those details will be in the blog post on my website, which I will link below. So for this tutorial you are going to need some cotton DK weight yarn. I'm using Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK. This is the shade Vintage Pink. Any DK cotton yarn should do though. You will also need a 4mm hook and an elasticated hair bubble. Okay, so to start with, we are just going to slip stitch onto our hair bubble. So I'll just pop that down. This tutorial is in UK terms, but I will put the US equivalents on the screen. You're going to put your hook through your hair tie and then just pull it through and slip it on. Okay, and now you're going to work 13 double crochets, or that's US single crochets, into the hair bubble. You can work over this tail if you want, if not, don't worry, you can sew it in at the end. Okay, so you're going to do that by putting your hook through your hair bubble and grabbing your yarn. So you've got 2 loops on your hook. Okay, grab the yarn again and pull through both loops, and that's your first double crochet or single crochet. So you're going to repeat that now 12 more times. So through the hair tie, pull up, you've got your 2 loops, yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay, so now you've got 2. So I'm just going to keep going until I've got 13 single crochets on my hair tie. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this should be the last one, 13. That's the fiddliest bit done. There we go. So it should look something like that. You can count them just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13. We're good. Okay, so for round 2, we're going to chain up and turn our work. Chain up 1 and turn. We're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch. So each of these 13 stitches, there they are. You're working through both of the loops of the stitch. You've done your chain 1. So you're going to go through both your loops. Pull up and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so start focusing, there we go. So we're going to go through both the loops of the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. Okay, so that's 1 double crochet or 1 US single crochet in each stitch along. So you should end up with 13 double crochet at the end of this row. Okay, that's what we've got at the end of the row. And we're just going to repeat that one more time. So we're going to chain up and turn our work to start another row. And one more double crochet in each of these 13 stitches. Just make sure you count your stitches at the end and that you've still got 13. So we've chained up, we're going into that first, so there's our chain. So we're going into this first stitch and you're going through both the loops. So pull through 2, so there's your first one, okay, and just repeat that into all of the stitches. So I'm just going to keep going and I'll meet you back at the end. There we are at the end of row 3. Okay, now it's going to get slightly interesting, but it's still so simple, so don't worry. For row 4, we're going to chain up and turn our work as we have been doing, and we're going to work a double crochet in the very first stitch. So we've got our chain there, so we're going into this stitch here. So through both loops, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so that's one double crochet or one single crochet in the first stitch. Then we're going to miss 2 stitches, so there's 1 and there's 2. 1, 2, and into the third stitch, so this one here, we're going to be working 5 treble crochets. So in US that would be 5 double crochets. So yarn over your hook and go through both loops, grab the yarn, pull up a loop, you've got 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2 loops, and you're going to do that 5 times in that same stitch. So that's 1, yarn over, into the same stitch again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There's your second double crochet or US treble crochet, and again into the same stitch. Make sure you go through both those loops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we've now got 3, so this is number 4. We're going into that same space or the same stitch, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So now I've got 4. You can count them on the top there if you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can count the legs. And then the last one, yarn over into that same stitch, pull through 2 and pull through 2. So there we go, we've got 5 treble crochets in one stitch. Okay, now we're going to miss the next 2 stitches, so we're going to miss this one, and we're going to put in this stitch another double crochet or a US single crochet. Okay, so we've got a double crochet, you've missed 2 stitches, you've got 5 treble in the next, you've missed 2 stitches, and then you've got another double crochet. So we're just repeating that really. So we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, these 2, and then we're going to work our 5 double crochet to that third one. So skip 2 stitches and 5 treble crochet, into the next one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we've got 5 treble crochet all coming out the same stitch again, going into the same stitch. We're going to miss 2 stitches this one and this one, and then in this last stitch here we're just going to work one last double crochet. And there you go. So that's what we're looking at the end of that round. Okay, so for row 5 we are going to turn our work and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this chain is going to count as 1 treble crochet and 2 chains. We're going to miss 2 trebles, so 1, 2, and we are going to work 1 double crochet into the 3rd treble, to that middle treble. Okay, so that's a US single as well. So there we go. And now we're going to do another 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to miss 5 stitches altogether. So we're going to miss these 2 remaining trebles, the double crochet there, and the next 2 trebles of the next cluster, and we're going to be working into the middle treble. Okay, so and that's another double crochet. So there we go. We've got our beginning chain 5, double crochet, chain 5, and a double crochet in the middle of each of these 5 trebles. Okay, now we're just going to chain 2, and then we're going to work a treble crochet into the very last stitch. So that's the double crochet from the last round. There we go. So your work should now look like that. So for row 6 we are going to turn our work, so we're going to work 1 chain and turn our work, and we're going to pop a double crochet, so a US single crochet just at the top there in that same stitch. So the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, so we're working our first stitch in the top of that treble from the last row. And now we are going to work 5 treble in the next double crochet. So for US viewers that would be 5 double crochet in the next single crochet. So that's this stitch here. So yarn over, and you want to just find that stitch, and we're working 5 double crochets all into the same stitch. So there's 2, 3, 4, and then the last one, 5. Okay, so they're all going into that same stitch. Now we're going to work 1 treble into this double crochet that's 2 rows below. So we're going to work it over this chain 5 from the row below, and then into this, here it is, this double crochet or single crochet from 2 rows below. So yarn over hook and just pop it through that stitch. Okay, and just work it normally, and what you'll find is you've just encased that chain 5. So there's no special technique, you just work it normally and you will cover that chain 5. And then finally we're going to put our 5 treble crochet into the double crochet, into the next double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to work our last double crochet, so our last single crochet US terms, into the 3rd chain of this turning chain 5. Just slip it in if you can find it. If you find it hard to get into the chain, it doesn't matter. You can just work it like that and just work it through the chain. It doesn't really make much difference for this pattern, but because this chain 5 counted as 1 treble and 2 chain, really you should pop it into the third chain there. And it just stops it moving about, but this is such a small pattern, like I said, it doesn't really matter. So that's what we've got. We've got our single crochet or double crochet, that's single crochet US, 5 trebles, a treble there going into 2 rows below, 5 trebles, and then our final double crochet. So for row 7 we are going to be repeating row 5. So we're going to turn our work and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, that counts as 1 treble and 2 chain, or that's 1 double crochet and 2 chains if you're in the US. Okay, we're going to miss the first 2 treble of this little 5 treble cluster or shell, and we're going to be working in the 3rd, the middle treble, and we're just going to pop a double crochet into that. Okay, there we are. And then chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to be popping another double crochet in the 3rd treble of this shell. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, there she is. There we go. So finally chain 2, and then we're going to work a double crochet into that last stitch. Is there, can't see it very well, but it's the last single double crochet from the last round. So then finally for row 8 we're going to chain up and turn our work. Okay, and we're going to work 1 double crochet or 1 single crochet in the top here in this last stitch from the last row, and then we're going to work 5 trebles into this double crochet here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to work our treble, and again we're going 2 rows below, so we're working it into this treble here from 2 rows below, and we're going to be encasing that. So remember, you just work it as you normally would, so yarn over, ignore this chain, and just work into that treble from 2 rows below. Okay, there it is. I'm going to just work my treble crochet as normal. That's a US double crochet. There you go. And that's just covered it both sides. And then we're going to work 5 trebles again, so that's 5 US double crochets into this double crochet here, or single crochet. Here he is. So 5 treble crochets going in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there we go. And then finally we're working 1 double crochet That's one single crochet into the third chain of this 5 chain here. Again, it's not important really, you can just work it around the chain if you find it hard to see them. And there we have it. So that's it. From now on we're just going to be repeating rows 7 and 8 for another 15 repeats in total, or until you feel like the headband is going to be big enough for you, and then we'll meet back at the end. Okay, so I've done as many repeats as I think I need. I've got a total of 34 rows starting from the beginning, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 rows of fans. And that's measuring, there we go, there's the, okay, and that is measuring, I've got about 13.5 inches there from the elastic bubble to the end. So anything under 14 I think is fine. Okay, so now we're just going to finish off with 2 rows of double crochet in each stitch. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work, and you should still have 13 stitches. So you've got 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that should be 13 double crochet or US single crochet, 1 in each stitch along. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then just repeat that row again. So another row of double crochet or US single crochet. So you chained 1, turned, and then work 1 double crochet into each of those 13 stitches again. And then we're going to be reattaching the hairband to the elastic tie. So just make sure you've got all 13 stitches, and that is it. Okay, so that's it. So we've just finished that off with 2 rows of double crochet. So I'm going to turn my work, so I'm going to work a chain 1 and turn my work. Okay, I'm just going to make sure my work's not twisted. I'm going to work 1 double crochet into the hairband. Okay, so I'm going to pop my hook in and just work a double crochet as I normally would. Okay, now I'm going to slip stitch back into that stitch, that first stitch. And the reason that I do it like this is because I find you get a neater edge. If I show you this one, both edges look similar. They're not identical, but that's the best that I could get them. If you slip stitch into it, which you can, you will get both of these sides looking slightly different. So it is up to you, but the perfectionist in me wouldn't allow that. So, and I'm going to do the same again. Okay, so I'm going to grab my yarn, work a double crochet, and then slip stitch into the next stitch. It's quite tricky to show you. So I'm going to go through, grab the yarn, So I'm working a double crochet or a US single crochet around the headband, and then I'm slip stitching it into the next stitch of the headband. Okay, so I'm just popping my hook under, grabbing that yarn, working that double crochet, and then I'm going back to the headband and I'm slip stitching into the next stitch. And I'm going to do that all the way along. So I'm going to work the double crochet or US single crochet around the headband, and then I'm going to slip stitch into that next stitch of the headband. So double crochet around that elastic tie and just work that slip stitch into the headband, and just carry that on all the way along. It is slightly more fiddly than if you were just to slip stitch, but I do think that it's worth it. I'm a great believer in, you know, making things nice and simple, but sometimes I think it's just worth paying a little bit of extra attention to something, you know, and just making it look right. So I'm just coming up to the last few stitches, slip stitching back into that headband after each time. Okay, now there's my last stitch. Okay, and then where am I? I'm going to slip stitch that one and I'm done. So if I just have a look at that, okay, you still get these nice sort of nice even edge. And if you were to turn that over, you can't really see the difference. So now you're just going to fasten off your yarn and snip. Okay, so I've just fastened that off and snipped my edge, and now I'm just going to put a very simple edging along either side. Okay, so I'm just going to add an edging along this. We're going to reattach the yarn with a slip stitch to the elastic tie. I've turned mine the way I want it, so that's how I finished. I've turned it over so you can't see those joins. So this is my right side, and I'm just going to reattach my yarn with a slip stitch to an edge of that hair tie. So just going to put my yarn through there, grab it and just slip it on. Okay, don't worry that it's separate from the headband because we're going to add it on. So I'm going to work through the first 4 rows, I'm going to work a single crochet into each row, just pushing it along the side there. 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now when I come up to these chain 3 spaces, I'm going to work 4 double crochet into each of them. 2, and I'm wrapping my double crochets around them. 4. Okay. And I'm just going to do that all the way along. So each time I come up to one of these chain spaces, I'm just going to work 4 double crochets into them. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just working into that and around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do that all the way along the side until I get back to the other edge. So I'm working 4 into each of these spaces until I get all the way around to here. Okay, so there's the edging. I've worked all the way along one side, and I'm just going to slip four more double crochets along the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm just going to slip stitch back onto the band. There we go, and fasten that off. And that's the edging. So you can see this side hasn't been done. This side's got the edging. It gives a lovely little finish, I think. And then just repeat that with the other side. So again, I join my yarn here with a slip stitch, work 4 double crochets across these first stitches, and then 4 double crochets into each of these gaps all the way along. 4 more along here, and then just slip stitch back into the hair tie. And that is it. So if you'd like to see some finished photos of these, pop along to my blog. I've got some pictures of my daughter wearing them. They look really pretty. Let me know if you have any trouble. Like I said, the pattern, the written pattern, and the chart are over on the blog as well, so it might be worth having a look if you get a bit stuck. But they're very simple once you get the hang of them. And I think they're just really quick to make, and I think they make perfect gifts. And I wear them myself, so. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you again soon.